I passed the theory exam with full points. Like I didn't even get a single question wrong.
I said, he's clever, she's clever.
What tips would you like to give to people like who are watching us so that they don't fail the exam?
Actually, I made a list which I'm sending to my students before they have exam. And let's start as soon as you get your exam date. Don't tell no one.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my another video. If you're wondering what I'm doing in a car, or if I bought a new car and I'm going to show you a tour video, a new car video, that's not the case. I'm sitting in a driving school car, and if you guessed it right, I am making a video on getting a driver's license in Germany. And this video is quite special because it's in a driving school car and no other video has shown you like that. So yeah, so if you're wondering what's in my hand, this is the shield which you put on a car if you are learning to drive, or this will be kept by a driving school itself. So as I said, this is a driving school car, and what we also have today in our video is a driving instructor basically.
Hi, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. And you?
Good. I'm also good. Thank you so
Perfect.
much. So this is Dario. He is a driving instructor in Frankfurt. So he came all the way from Frankfurt to meet us in our video today to help out. And Dario, thank you so much for the efforts, man. It was really good of you to come all the way here.
No,
it's
no
a 4
problem.
to 5 hours drive from Frankfurt to Munich. And what we are going to do today is a lot of work, a lot of things we are going to cover in this video today. But before that, Dario, would you like to introduce us to my audience?
Of course, as you have heard already, my name is Dario. I have a driving school in Frankfurt called Fahrlingo. Before it was just a YouTube channel, and thanks to a lot of people, I could convert it into a driving school. Since 2 months I'm operating. And yeah, I just saw his video and thought, damn, we should do something together, and that's why I'm here. And what's the topic today?
Yeah, as I said, we are going to cover a lot of things, and nobody has done this kind of video before on YouTube if you check out. So nobody has shown you what are the driving conditions look like, how your driving school or how your driving car is gonna look like. So we are going to show you real life experience of driving around Munich, and also answer some questions like how is the process, how much does it cost, or what kind of mistakes you should avoid, or usually the commonly made mistakes of students while in the exam. So things like that. And I'm sure that this video is not only helpful for students who are like beginning the process, but also who is already in this process, who's going to take the driving exam. So watch out for the tips in this video as well. So should we begin?
Yeah, I'm ready. And you?
I'm also ready.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. So Dario, before we get inside the car, I think it's good to show, or I think it's better to show how the driving conditions look when you take a driving lesson. How do you do it? Like, where is this shield gonna go?
Exactly. Here I have the shield, and the first thing what we have to do is positioning it here on the top, like this. It can be there, it doesn't matter. It's just important that other people can see that we're a driving school, that they have more distance, be more kind to you actually, yes, and forgive more mistakes. However, keep in mind, if you're in exam, we are not allowed to have it there, because you should drive under real conditions. So in exam, I have to take it off again, and then you drive like totally normal.
All right. So yeah, this is how it looks like. You should be wearing your seatbelt first. That's the most important rule. Yeah, and that's the driving panel for you. And now here is our instructor sitting in, and this is how it will look like if you are having a lesson or maybe exam.
Exactly.
So
here you can see as well, I've got pedals too.
Yeah.
And yes, that I can help out in case
exactly. And here's the
just what you have to know, the examiner. Do you have an idea where the examiner is seated?
This is where the examiner will sit, and then he can observe you from here. That's where the examiner will sit, where he can see you as a student, and then he can see you if you are following the rules, how you are seeing it outside, or how you are driving it basically.
Actually, he can see every movement of your eyeballs. For example, check the back mirror. Is he looking right now into the back mirror? Yes, so he can see it. If he's doing the blind check to the left, yes. Is he doing the blind spot check to the right? As well, he can see, and even he can see, I don't know if you can notice how he's using the pedals.
Yeah.
So it's possible as well too. So that's why he's always positioned on the right hand side in the back.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the exam. Like now we know the process that it has to be theory lessons first, and then theory exam, and then the practical lessons and practical exam. How is the theory exam? Like what do you say? What does it contain? What does it ask in the theory exam?
Okay, you have something like around 14 topics covering everything. So from traffic rules about technical questions regarding the car, and in my opinion, please don't tell no one, really stupid questions sometimes too. And it's important, there are about more than 1,200 questions, and you really have to learn them. There is no way, just even if you're a clever guy, there is no way how to get them right if you haven't checked all of them at least once or even twice. In the exam, in the practical exam, you've done it too, or?
Yes.
Exactly. You remember how much questions it was?
So for me, it was around 1,100 or something like that, and now the amount has also increased. It has become to 1,200.
Inside the exam, how much questions?
30 questions.
Exactly.
30
So they
questions,
grab out just 30 questions out of it. And how much can you have wrong?
That's the trick. You can get only 1 or 2 questions wrong based on the points. Like there are some point based question, like 5 points, 3 points, 2 points questions. If you get 5 points questions and 2 of them wrong, that's you are done for the day.
Exactly. Normally they say that you are allowed to have 10 mistakes point, and with 11 mistake points you fail in any case. You passed your practical one at first?
Yes, at first I failed the practical one, I'm sorry.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I thought you the practical,
No.
but no, we are talking about the theory.
Theory lesson. I passed the theory exam with full points. Like I didn't even get a single question wrong.
I said he's clever, she's clever. Yes, so then he doesn't know, but in case you might fail the theory exam, you are blocked for 2 weeks and then you're allowed to repeat it. The price of it normally is around 21 euros from TÜV. However, the driving school will charge you additionally too. So this really depends on the driving school. Do all of these questions at least one time, and then you can see, depending on your app, that which one you have made wrong, and then repeat these wrong questions until you've got all of them correct. Once you have all of them correct, start to do simulations. You can go into the app and there start simulations, and when you see that in your simulations you really pass and you've got no troubles, then I would go and subscribe for the theory exam. This you have to decide by your own. When you feel ready, you go to the driving school and ask them for a place. Good, relax, you're doing good. Yes. Honestly, I have checked more on the camera right now, but maybe you can see. Has he looked good? I think so. Until now, I'm still not scared, so that's good.
I really want to focus on my driving and on the road, so I'm not moving my eyes on the camera yet. We'll also show you the driving, like the road conditions, how I'm driving, how we are driving. But yeah, maybe after a while. So now let's talk about the practical lessons. Like when do we start and how does it go? Like for a beginner as well as someone who is converting the license.
Okay. A beginner has to visit theory classes, and we normally suggest that you should do at least something like 6 out of 14 classes, and then you start with your driving lessons. However, there might be some different policy of your driving school. Quite often, if the driving school is very full, then they say, no, first do theory exam and then we can start driving. But actually, it should be like you should do it at the same time. So present something like 6 theory classes and then ask a teacher if he has got time. As well, keep in mind, good teachers are quite full. So if you want to start in August, for example, try to ask in the beginning of July or even June to be really 100% sure that he will be available. If you ask 1 or 2 weeks before, he might be full. So that would be a tip of mine.
Yeah.
We normally start to teach you with the technical parts of handling the car, how to handle the clutch, how to keep the steering wheel good, how to change the gears in case you do the manual driver license. And then step by step we will increase difficulty, driving first in residential area, then going through the city, and then when you're safe inside the city with heavy traffic, we start with the classes, with the special classes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how it's done if you have already a license. And normally your teacher will have a look how you drive, because there is a wide range of talent out there. So some people just need 2 or 3 classes just to learn the difficult areas and maybe get reminded how to behave in certain kind of signs, but they're perfect drivers and they pass quite fast, so they just need 2 or 3 classes. However, most of foreign people need a little bit more, because it's not about handling the car in the exam as well, but it's more about driving according German rules. And if you don't know them, you have no chance to pass the German driving exam, so there it takes more time. So
How much does it cost to get the license?
okay, straight to the point. Let's say you're a perfect driver, you know everything. I would say count around at least 1,500 euros will be the minimum what you have to pay if you're a perfect driver. If you are, let's say, average, there are statistics in Germany. The average student, and we're not talking about international ones, the average student spends around 3,000 euros. Keep in mind, Berlin, for example, is cheaper. Munich is more expensive, so the average might might be different where you are actually located.
Yeah.
And however, there are some people who are on the other side of the extreme, who are maybe need more practice, more training until they're safe on the roads. And there are extremes where they spend 8,000, 9,000 euros. Yes, if you fail several times, need more than 1 year driving, 2 years driving, you can end up there as well. But this is the other extreme, and most are around 3,000-4,000 euros.
We'll be showing you the real life driving lesson. So the instructor sitting alongside me, and then I'll be the one who is driving, and we'll show you some real life driving conditions and how the lesson takes place.
All right, then we start, and please go to the left.
I always
Exactly.
forget this.
But you saw it before we start, so everything nice. The thing is, the examiner always will tell you soon. So if you wait and say, the next traffic light is very far away, don't wait. Then it might become tricky. If he says the third street to the left, then try to turn already to the left, because it has a reason why he says it. But we go straight ahead.
These are the priority lanes
for this road.
For this road. So you don't have to watch out for someone who is coming from right.
Good.
That sign.
However, there was a traffic light, and remember, the traffic light has the highest priority, and you just have to check the signs in case the traffic light is out of order. At nights, for example, they turn that off. So now we are on a priority road, but the traffic light is red, and that's why you have to stop. We go still straight ahead. Exactly, because you're going straight ahead, you have priority in front of him. Nice. Confidence. Okay, the next traffic light, please turn left. Okay.
Oh, so it's for us? Yes
you
or
have
no?
good. Not green anymore. At the beginning it was green, and then it turned off. That would be an exam killer. Damn. At the beginning you were right to go, but then it turned off, so now it's red. Okay, my question to you is, how much lanes are turning left? You know, from our side right now?
From our side, only one.
Exactly. And if there are 2 lanes, which one do you choose?
You choose the most right one.
Yes,
and
exactly,
you
because
follow
you're the
that
only
one.
one.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, good. This is what I would already focus on. I would check where I'm positioned and which lane I have to choose after driving through the bend to the left.
Really have to be careful in this kind of situations.
Yeah, it's really tricky. Definitely, especially in huge cities like Munich or Frankfurt or Berlin, wherever you are. It's always tricky with several lanes. All right, let's go. Uh-huh.
Which way
Because
is it?
now you can go. Because there was no arrow in the traffic light, the coming traffic had priority and he had to let him pass first, and then he was able to go. All right, we go still straight ahead. And what was your best experience inside of your driving school lessons?
Oh wow. Every time I had lesson, I was like so exhausted.
Oh no!
But yeah, it
Why?
was really nice. As in like, sometimes there used to be like really tricky situations,
Mhm.
and I didn't know how to react initially.
Do you have an example?
Um, for example, yeah, the left and right lanes. Like, if I'm, let's say I was supposed to go 30 on this, so I have to switch lanes, let's say, and I am, but there are like traffic coming in front of you as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you should really know whether to go ahead or stop or wait for the
Coming traffic.
coming traffic to go. So, and some cases there are like parallel traffic, like you are allowed to go and the oncoming traffic will pass around, like beside you parallelly. But these were like situations where I got confused, like I used to get confused.
1 second. In front of us is a bicycle. If you want to overtake, how much space do you have to give her by passing? You know?
1.5 meters in the city.
Exactly. And outside?
Outside it's 2 meters.
Yes. But for me, for example, if you see that the traffic light is red in front,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense to overtake
Exactly.
her.
Yeah.
So just stay behind, because if you overtake her now in front
Yeah.
of the traffic light, she's anyway in front of you again.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, now we've got green and we still go straight ahead. Now drive 30 that you can pass her now before she's entering again.
How about now you drive and I go to the other seat?
All right,
Yeah?
let's go.
Let's go. It's good to be back on the passenger seat.
Yeah, no problem. I will adjust everything.
Yeah.
I'll be aware you have pedals there,
Yeah.
so please
Yes.
take the pedals
yes.
to you.
Yes.
Okay, I will start over. Seated?
Yep. All
Nice.
good. Yeah. Let's
All
go.
good? Okay, let's go.
Yeah. So what I wanted to ask you was, is it possible to do this process in English? Like many of us or a lot of people ask me that they don't have German skills. Like, let's see, for example, like I did it in German. Like I did my theory lessons, my practical lessons, and my exam was completely in German because I knew a little bit of German, so I could understand. But there are people who doesn't know at all. Like they want to do it in English. So is it possible for them to take the theory lessons in English and then also the practical lessons also in English?
They are. So first of all, let's talk about that. Theory classes are most often in German. However, there might be specialized schools who offer it in English as well. There are much more English-speaking teachers. However, there are still a few out of it, and it will be difficult to get a time slot with him because most driving teachers don't speak English that well. So therefore, it's difficult to get a slot. But yeah, it might be possible to get the classes in English, the practical classes. However, the practical driving exam will be in German by law.
Yeah.
So the examiner will talk with you in German. Is this an advantage or disadvantage? Most people just think that they say left or right, and that's true. Germans get help from the examiner. For example, you're driving too fast, or are you sure what you're doing right now? So if you don't get these small helps, it will be much more difficult. And that's why it's definitely an advantage if you understand German. And if you don't, you have a disadvantage, definitely. Not because you might drive bad, it's more because you might have problems in communication. That's why actually I developed an online course called Fahrlingo. And there I'm teaching people all the around 120 commands and helps of examiners to grasp these commands and helps that you later can focus on driving.
Right. In exam,
Uh-huh.
what are the like common mistakes people usually do and then they fail the exam?
So quite, I would say, mistake number one is you see in front of us right now some parking cars. And right now it's easy, but imagine a huge truck is coming towards you, and then you get scared and you get closer and closer and closer, and damn, you nearly crash. And this happens very, very often. And then the teacher has to put his hand on the steering wheel to help you out. And this happens quite often. That is a very, very common mistake. Another one is turning left inside the city with several lanes. It's very, very difficult. And there can be a lot of mistakes. And another one, maybe entering highway as well. Is a lot of people do fear it, and yes, it can be extremely difficult depending on the situation. Yeah, you can train it hundreds of times. It's always quite easy, and then in the exam you have a lot of traffic, a lot of trucks, and that's difficult to train.
Yeah. What about, but like, what tips would you like to give to people like who are watching us so that they don't fail the exam?
Actually, I made a list which I'm sending to my students before they have exam. And let's start as soon as you get your exam date. Don't tell no one. Because if you tell everyone, yeah, in 2 weeks I do have exam, your social pressure rises and rises and rises, and everyone will ask you, and how does it work? And you have failed. Oh my God, no. So best is to don't tell no one, to have as low pressure as possible. That's the first tip I would say.
You know what?
Yes?
I did the exact same thing. I I told people 2 weeks before, even before my exam, that I am having exam. I'm having exam, and I don't know why, but I failed in my first attempt, like in my first exam, and it was really it was a lot of pressure on that day.
Yes.
At the time of exam, that I have to pass. I should pass, man.
Yes, I can imagine. That's the first thing.
Yeah, so I think we did cover a lot of topics, but one thing I forgot to ask is, like, I failed in my practice lesson or my practice exam,
Okay.
practical exam. What tip or what advice do you have for people who fail in the exam?
Wow, that's difficult to say. I would say, first about keep in mind, this is, and it's not an embarrassing thing. So just head up, try again, and try again until you really make it. Don't waste time and don't do nothing. And then maybe half a year you will be at a level much weaker than before. So just go on and you will do it. Really, it's like a lot of people fail. Unfortunately, it's not about how you drive, it's about how you handle your nerves. This is proven. So if your teacher says you are ready, and you're a good driver. Just it's just about how to stay cool while someone is watching you.
Yeah, exactly. And I would say the same thing. Just don't give up. It happens, and no matter what, like, even if you fail, take another time. If you fail that time as well, take another time. But just, like, don't give up and get this thing done with. Yeah. All right.
Exactly.
All
Here we are.
Yeah. All right. We are back in our parking lot, and we covered a lot of topics, Dario, don't you think?
Oh yes, there was really, really a lot of content today.
Yeah.
And I hope that with that you will pass at the first try.
Yes, I wish you the same. Even if you don't pass, I would say don't give up. Keep on trying, and at some point you will definitely make it. Yeah. And if you want to learn driving, or if you want to, start this process, I would suggest to you contact, are you?
Oh,
Right?
yeah, that's great. I'm in Frankfurt, yes. However, we have a special program, a high intense program from people from other cities, and they're invited to get their driver license in 1, 5, or 10 days and finish the whole training, even if you're not living in Frankfurt. So you're welcome to join with me.
And everything is in English.
Yes.
That's a point to be noted. I will also put his contact and his website in the video description. You can always check out and contact him. Yeah. And the last thing, make sure you share this video with your friends, family who is going through this process in Germany, or they want to start driving license process in Germany. And make sure you subscribe to the channel as well, and stay tuned for the more content like this. That's all for today, and I will see you again.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.